Marta Eloy Cichocka, Polish poet and photographer, Iberian studies scholar, and a Francophile, literary investigator and translator, from Jean-Baptiste Racine and Pedro Calderón de la Barca to Roberto Juarós, Pablo Neruda, and Raúl Zurita, among others. Laureate of the first prize in Halina Poświatowska National Poetry Competition, 2004, the first International SXS Antonio Machado Scholarship Residence, 2016, and the UNESCO Krakow City of Literature Prize, 2021. She has published 8 poetry books as well as 2 books on literary theory of contemporary historical novel in French and in Spanish. Her poems were translated into English, Spanish, French, Romanian, Russian, Belarusian, Arabic, or Chinese, and now into Bengali. She also coordinates Republica Poetica, multilingual poetry readings, and Manufactura de Poesia, translation workshops. She is an associate professor of the University of National Education Commission in Krakow.
Memories are melodies. কথা ও কাহিনী. So আজকে আমাদের সাথে এসেছে আমার বন্ধু Marta Eloy Cichocka from Poland. Welcome Marta
Hello.
to this podcast. We're extremely happy to have her here in Kolkata. This is your first time in Kolkata?
It's my first time in India, it's my first time in Kolkata, and it's the first time I cannot really go back.
Yes, because we know what's going on around the world right now. But here we are sitting, 2 poets. Mostly we are going to focus on Marta right now. And wonderful thing is that Marta's book, translated in Bengali
By
Shravani
Gupta.
Gupta. And this is so amazing. You know, all the poems are very different than what I have been reading for a very long time.
Why?
And we'll talk about it with Marta. Because first of all, the names of the poems are like loops. You know, you can see that even in the book. Here's অনুবাদ করেছে শ্রাবণী গুপ্ত আর এখানে ছবিটা যে লুপের ছবিটা আমরা দেখতে পাচ্ছি. So of course life is like a loop. Only if we can overcome those loops or we can untie those loops, then we see the real life. You know, go deeper into it, the roots, everything gets a lot of turmoil, like, you know. So I found it very interesting that way. We're going to read 1 or 2 of these poems,
Okay.
but before that, I really want to know about your life. How you began and where are you flowing?
I started writing probably as everybody because I was fascinated by poetry, so I was a reader first. First we are readers or we listen to poetry and then we want to repeat this, you know, this creative work. I remember writing my very first poem at the age of 12 and it was already very contemporary, modern, no capital letters, no, it was like very abstract poem already for a 12-year-old girl. Because we of course have some traditional poetry in Europe and we have traditional poetry with rhymes and with, you know, with like 19th century or 18th century poetry.
Yes.
But when I started and what I liked in poetry really moved my writing to the 21st century because my first poem was when it was it's still in 20th century.
Okay, so what is your vision about this world around you? Like, you know, poets, we have different visions about life and the world around us. What is yours?
Ooh, this is a very hard question. I don't know, my vision changes and this is probably one constant thing is that it changes. So probably I don't feel attached so much to what I think about the world. Probably I think that world is an illusion in a sense that we strongly believe in what we think. So this gives us total setup and that's what I like to travel because when I travel I feel a bit unreal because I come with my setup to some places very far away from home where people have their setup. So I can feel how my setup, my vision is not real, but also I can see how they believe in everything they believe and it's also not real. So this is my vision of the world. It is not real.
Are we talking about dimensions here?
Well, we can talk. We can talk about many dimensions. I also believe, which is important for poets, that we really shape the world through the language.
Yes.
So this is Wittgenstein, but this is also. I mean, you cannot. You can feel many things, and you can try to reach those things which are unspeakable through poetry, but you cannot talk about something if you cannot find words for it. So if you cannot find words, you just cannot name a reality.
Absolutely.
So,
words are very powerful. Very powerful.
Yeah, but they are also like, they serve us. So
that's a wonderful way of putting it that way. So you have been traveling across the globe, right, with your poetry. How is that experience?
This experience is marvelous, but also because even if I wrote my first poem very, very early, I was very shy, and I kept I waited till the age of 30 to publish my first book, and still I was very, very shy. So I was taking a lot of pictures, and I had some exhibition going on. So a catalog was proposed, to publish, and I said, "Oh, perfect!" And I put 30 poems in my catalog. So in reality, what I published was a small poetry book with pictures.
Right.
So and I've been doing this, publishing pictures and photography in several books, because I didn't want to renounce on photography, and I didn't want to renounce on poetry. So I didn't travel with my first book. I traveled with the second one, which was also presented in France, I remember. Then I traveled with the third one. I went to Mexico. It was a book which is already bilingual. It's Polish, Spanish, and still has got pictures inside. Then I had a very interesting, very intense residency in Segovia and Soria. Those are two cities in Spain where a great poet, 20th century poet, Antonio Machado, lived. Yes. So he would probably have several themes common with Tagore. So I spent 1 month in Soria, 1 month in Segovia, and I was commissioned to write a poetry book.
Right.
So I wrote a poetry book in Polish and in Spanish. But really, something really amazing happened with this last book. So my very last book, it has a very strange title. It's Image May Contain. Has got this loop construction, and it's my first really conceptual book, in the sense that usually I was just publishing collections of poems. Once I published something which was also a conceptual book, but it was like small poetic prose. So a collection of, very short prose. But this one is really like a series of images, of stories entangled, and it's very hard to read one poem, because it's like this book really is building a structure. So I wanted to build a structure, and it's not very long, but it's very intense.
It's very intense, yes.
Very
I
compact.
have been reading, yes, very compact, yes. So you have seen many parts of the world, right, as a poet, and now you come to India. So is there anything in particular that you have noticed about India or Bengal? Maybe the authors, maybe anything that you would like to point out?
This is a difficult question, and you know it, because when I arrived here, it was only 8-9 days ago. On the very next day, I was already guest in Kifalk Japan Chitra Festival, which was 4 very intense days. And when this festival was over, on the next day, I was already guest on another festival, which was for 3 days. The ICSR, which we pronounce ICISR. So I haven't seen much, actually. I would say, because I really want to stress that I didn't see much. Probably today with you, I saw more things than before, because we went to Tagore's palace, and we went rickshaw driving. And
did you like rickshaw driving?
I loved it. I tried to make pictures and make a film without falling down and losing my phone. I can compare India to Mexico, to Colombia, to Peru. Probably probably okay, it's between Peru and Mexico for me, because also I see like very deep, very strong layers of cultures.
Right.
So I see this very profound, deep rooted culture you have, and then on top of it I see like another layer which is post-colonial, colonial first, then post-colonial, and then I see modern layers. And also modern layers are very interesting to watch, because on one hand I can see how especially young people want to be modern, how shops look European-like or you know, globalized world. But on the other hand, I still see beautiful women wearing beautiful saris, and I see that the culture is really rooted in something very deep and respected. So and of course you have kitchen cuisine, which is absolutely
cuisine,
fantastic.
Yeah.
So also this is important part, and this is well known.
So now I would ask her to read a poem. If you would read in Polish, and maybe we can do the translation Bengali here.
Okay.
Yeah.
We chose, Anindita chose a poem. Pętla piąta. Ta kobieta to nie. Obraz może zawierać ciało kobiety na brzegu. Czy kobieta tonie inaczej niż mężczyzna? Kobiety toną skromnie. Kobiety toną z godnością. Kobiety toną w sumie rzadziej, bo raczej nie spotyka się kobiety, która wypije 7 piw i wskakuje z molo do wody o temperaturze 12 stopni, żeby zaimponować koleżankom. Kobieta, nim utonie, umyje gary, umaluje twarz, uzbiera pełną kieszeń kamieni i dopiero wtedy idzie prosto na dno.
So I'm reading from the Bengali translation book translated by Shravani Gupta. ফাঁস 5 সেই মহিলাটি নয়। ছবিতে হয়তো একজন নারীর শরীর অর্ধসিক্ত পড়ে আছে নদী চরে। নারীটি এমন মগ্নতাই চেয়েছিল। নারীরা কি এইভাবেই ডুবে যেতে চায়, নাকি নারীদের নিমগ্নতা পুরুষের চেয়ে আলাদা? আমরা হয়তো খুব কমই দেখেছি এরকমটা, কেননা নারীরা ডুবতে চাইলেও মর্যাদার সঙ্গেই ডোবেন। কেননা কখনোই কোনো নারী 7 বোতল বিয়ারের নেশায় 12 ডিগ্রি উষ্ণ জলে ঝাঁপ দেন না। বন্ধুদের এভাবে মুগ্ধ করার কোনো দায় তাদের নেই। তারা নদীতে নামার আগেও এক গাদা বাসন মাজে, মুখে রঙের পরত লাগায়, আর পকেটে ভরে নেয় গুচ্ছ গুচ্ছ নুড়ি পাথর। This is such an amazing symbolic poem, and I'm sure that people who are listening to us, they are connecting to it because it's very true. It's satirical, but it's real, and this is what women do again and again.
And it's also very sad. But probably we should say first that this title and also the words that are repeated many times in many poems, image may contain, they come from the algorithmic automatic description which is on every image on every screen, which we human don't see. But if, for example, you have some deficiency, you need your computer to describe an image for you, you will listen to those words.
Yes.
Image may contain this, this and this. So this on one hand. Also, this is a book about suffering, starting from very intimate suffering, starting with a father's loss, going through solitude, going through like some suicidal tendencies, like feeling bad, alone. But then it goes through all of the common suffering, like I don't know, global suffering. Yes, like suffering we've seen, we've been there, and we've suffered, like pandemic, like national, like nature catastrophes and so on,
Like
and
that's
wars,
part of human life. Yes,
and
the
wars.
wars that we.
So this was inspired by actually statistics saying that on 10 suicidal acts you only have 1 woman, because women are too busy to commit suicide. So, and even if they want to commit suicide, first they will clean everything, they will clean the house, then they make themselves beautiful, and then only then they can die. And we can have Sylvia Plath, for example, or Virginia
we
Woolf.
have Kamala Das also here, right?
Yeah.
I mean, though what I'm saying is that the suffering that she went through and how she could manage it even till the end moment, right? And we have many more. I mean, just to name them. Okay.
But they are rare. It's very
There are
strange,
many,
but they
of
are
course,
yes,
there are many,
but
of
they
course.
are.
Your message to our listeners and your readers.
Be curious. Be curious and have as many doubts as you have, because only if you have doubts, only if you question yourselves and question the world, we can change. If you stop questioning yourselves and you stop having questions, we are stranded.
Yes,
We are stuck.
that's very true. Yes. We're extremely happy to have you with us, Marta, and I would love to
Thank
have
you
you
so
back
much.
again. And
Anytime.
yes, just I have this one very last question. I mean, not the least, of course. That when you write your words, is it like you want to write them, or is it like they come to you through this world as a message for the people?
This is a very good question too. I usually listen to the words coming first, so it can be an anchor. I can have like 3 words coming, like four words coming, and I keep them. I try to put them down, and then I can sit and work, and then I build a poem around this thing. But really, I like this moment when an idea comes, and of course ideas comes from everywhere. It's
universe,
not
yes, of
something
course.
like I want to say something. No, if I don't have anything to say, I just cannot do
Yes.
it.
Yes.
I also think that our poetry we write doesn't really belong to us. I always say that poetry doesn't belong to a poet.
Yeah.
So it's a very rebellious thing to say, because I truly believe that even Tagore's poetry doesn't belong to Tagore's. Poetry belongs to readers.
Yes.
And if poetry is forgotten, if nobody reads something, this thing is forgotten and it disappears. So actually we write not for us, we write for the people who will come after us, and they will read us.
Absolutely.
Or forget us.
Yeah, it's almost like messages, that comes through us, I think, like as a poet myself.
Yeah.
They're all messages coming through us
absolutely.
to the world.
And that's how also we can connect to the people who were here before
Yes,
you.
absolutely.
And you can try to dialogue with them, and you can try to connect to the same inspiration, because I think there is some kind of, morpho something field. Like,
therefore they say everything is connected in that sense.
It really is, but it's also on physical level. It is connected.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for being here.
Philosophical questions always. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.